Greetings. Welcome back to a cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nidra Simmons. I am coming on to remind you all that I do not own the rights to the music. The music is just playing in the background, which I will play in a few minutes. I just want to come on and give honor and glory to Mother, Father, God, Universe. This content is for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, God, for waking us up this morning, watching over us as we slept throughout the night. Continue to keep us and bless us, order our steps, direct our path. Thank you for keeping us fully dressed. We're in the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, sword of God's holy word, but of truth and shoes of peace. Thank you, God, for protecting us and continue to provide for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. Thank you, God, for safe traveling mercies for those who will have to travel or are traveling right now throughout the day to and from their destinations. Thank you for just always being there for us. Um, God, I love you so much, always and forever. The same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. Thank you, God, for just being so awesome. And thank you for our big to our and giving much gratitude and much respect to our big brother Jesus, to archangels, guard angels, all angels in the highest Christ light, ancestors, guardian ancestors, spirit team here and far. Thank you for all that you do. Again, I do not own the rights to the music. The music is just playing in the background to help set the tone, to help contribute to the conversation. The topic or umbrella that we're going to talk about today is how to improve our social mental health. In other words, we're going to talk about anything and everything that's related to improving us as individuals so that we can learn to communicate and speak to other people with confidence and assurance. And it just requires a few simple steps. It's not hard. Um, again, this is just a cup of conversation, and it's going to help and improve because that's why I come on to encourage, uplift, to help in any way possible. So, by maintaining confidence in yourself, and I always talk about loving yourself. Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. Glad to see all of you there that come on this morning. Um, Thank you for your support. It is much appreciated. But why does social, emotional, or social intelligence, however way you want to call it, why does it matter? Why is it important? Um, and I'm saying it's important because, you know, it improves relationships, building effective communicational skills, and helps you to handle conflicts, basically. Social intelligence is how we speak to people, is how we approach. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is how we, you know, communicate on our day-to-day basis, it also helps people read social cues. So it helps us understand each other better. It lets us know when we overstepped our boundaries. It lets us know when somebody's uncomfortable about what we say. It lets us know to either go forward or to back away from whatever the topic is. Um, Also, it helps you to adapt to different situations and make others feel understood, which is important for personal life. What did I put down there? Personal life and leadership. You have to learn how to communicate to people if you are in a leadership. Hello, thank you for joining the live. You have to learn to know how to speak to people, especially if you're in a role of leadership. If you want people to respect you, you have to come across respectful. You can't just come over there as a dictatorship and say, do this because I say do that, do this, do this, do this, and that's it. And then think that your day is going to flow or that you're going to get the best out of the individual that is doing something for you. You want to make sure that you come out with respect. The old the basic rule: treat people the way that you want to be treated. Period. Talk to people the way that you want to be talked to. Don't come across to show that you have um, authority and just run with it and make it seem like you know more. And what I'm learning, a lot of people put on facades or masks. They come across as if they're big shot, and that's just to cover up the fact that they don't know half of the stuff they got to teach you. In some cases, people are just cocky and they just come across that way because that's how they feel things work for them. But that's not necessarily what you need to do. I always say you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. So keep that analogy in all that you do. When you go around, I mean, even though vinegar can kill them flies and the flies come around the honey, things flow much better with the honey than it does with the vinegar. So a way that you can break the ice and have a conversation with someone is to, ask them, what's something you've been excited about lately? I hear a lot of these commercials and these speakers coming out saying, don't ask how's the weather? Don't ask that question. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that question. If you want to know how the weather is, and everybody can relate to that particular question. So I can understand why people would ask that particular question. Um, but ask something different. Like, what's something you've been excited about lately? That can get them to think about, oh, okay, something positive, something to get them to want to smile, something to get them to want to speak about it. Because usually when you're excited about something, you're going to want to share it. So if you're thinking about something that with a smile on your face, hello, thank you for joining the live. You're asking me what does beads mean to me? I don't know what you. It is decoration, is design. I use it to make jewelry. You know, and if you're talking about stone, I mean, it has natural factors that I like, so I wear. Um, you have to be a little bit more detailed on that question. That's kind of broad, but I think they're stylish. Um, Conversation tabs. Habits. So, hello. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. I'm looking at your partner. If you come on and join me live every day and we have this conversation and we communicate back and forth, you're a part of my life already. We are a part of each other's lives. Okay? So some good conversation, some good conversational habits to have when you are speaking to someone else is to be a good listener. And to be a good listener, you have to be quiet. A lot of people get excited or, try to finish other people's sentences before they finish it because either the conversation is good or they want to show off as if they know a little something. So they try to finish other people's conversations before they finish it. Don't do that. Let them finish it. Let them say what they want to say. Don't enhance or change what's on their mind. Allow them to say what it is that they feel and get it all out. And then, you speak after they get it all out. Ask open-ended questions. Don't just ask yes or no questions and that's it. Then the conversation doesn't continue to go on. It stops right then and there. When you ask the question, what's something you've been excited about lately? It's going to make you think and it's going to give you an opportunity to speak. And then based on what the other person says, it's going to allow you to continue on to the conversation because you might say, oh, yeah, I can relate to that. I enjoy doing that also. I remember the last time or whatever whatever the case might be. So, well, thank you. Thank you very much for the compliment. Some other things you can do to make things easier is talk about some shared context. Find out what's common. If you guys are at a gathering, make a conversation or ask a question in regards to why you're here and make it personal. Like, well, why are you here? As far as what's your interest in this study? What's your interest in this topic? What is your interest in you know, if you're going to a convention and you're looking at materials, talk about the materials. I find this to be very interesting because what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that? Make the conversation run both ways. Find some common ground to conversate about, to talk about. Share a little bit about yourself. You don't have to go and tell your business. You ain't got to tell them, give them a resume about you. About, I'm 5'4" and such and such pounds. I'm such and such year of age. You don't have to do all of that. Just, you know, Share something that you enjoy. Like if y'all both going to the convention, and let's say this is a convention for you're trying to build wealth. You know, I came to this particular thing because it reminds me of, or I want to improve on, because this is something that I find share something, but make it broad in general, but don't make it personal to it's just your personal stuff. Because you don't want to give too much information. Sometimes you can talk too much and scare these people away from you. um Also, share. Okay, I said that. Give sincere compliments. Compliments are important. I mean, I can remember people on here getting a little uh tight on the compliments. I see someone that wants to come on, but I don't know. Oh, they want to invite to co-host. That's for to send me someplace else. No, I misread that. But yeah, give sincere compliments. Don't assume. You know, if you see somebody wearing a color that you like, oh, that color looks very nice on you. That is my favorite color. Or your voice is very soothing, and you're very calm. I appreciate that. Um, that can be very helpful in the field that we're in, or whatever the case might be. Or just say, I like your voice, or um, you know, uh your hair looks nice, your shoes look nice, compliment, say something nice to uplift, because you never know what somebody's going through. Even though we're talking about uh um and social mental health, which I didn't know was a topic till I looked through it, glanced on this thing. I'm like, okay, so there's many different types of mental health issues out there that you can look at to help improve. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an issue, but when I say mental health, you have social mental health, you have personal mental health, you have uh, I don't know, overwhelming life mental health. You have different types of mental health out there. I guess whatever you want to include on, or whatever might be overwhelming for someone to talk through, can be a mental health. And one of the ways that I think you can heal that is through communication and conversation. Sometimes you just have to talk it out. Freeze up again. Freeze up again. What's that? Freeze up again the wall with that hat. I don't understand. You don't like my hat? I like it because it's green and it blends in with a lot of my clothes. And yeah, I don't have to look at the roots of my hair. I'm missing some of these compliments. I mean, or top questions. I don't know why it's freezing up. But yeah, I think I look sophisticated in this hat. What y'all think? Or is that a compliment you give me based off of what we're talking about? Um, and another thing is, don't assume. Don't assume people know what's on your mind. Don't assume people are in the best mood. When you approach people in the most calmest way possible, because you don't know if they're going through whatever, where their mind is at. Because you can physically be in a place, but your mind could be someplace else. So when you are speaking or confronting or trying to socially connect with somebody, just be mindful. Don't assume, and try to maintain balance as well as distance. Do you like fried chicken? Watermelon? Cool thing. Are you trying to say I look ghetto? And yes, I do. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. If you guys are just coming on, we're talking about social, um, mental health, and basically all that is how to physically communicate with people, and come across understanding them, and coming across um, aware of how to approach people. Basically, you can put all these fancy titles on it to see what it is, or call it what you want to call it. but basically it's communication skills. Social mental health is how well you communicate with one another, how well you get your point across, how well do you maintain good conversational habits. We talked about being a good listener, open-ended questions, being fully present and acknowledge. And compliments don't hurt either. um, so that's what this conversation is about today. Try to help you out there. Hello, how are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? So yeah, that's what this conversation is about today, to help communicate or help you in your area of communication. Some of you guys may not have a problem and it's all good. Some of you guys might need to be reminded of some basic things so that you can continue on. And some people need to just know all about it, period. And it's just a cup of conversation and food for thought. So it's something to talk about. And I figured, I can talk about a lot of different topics of conversations, but I want to be different from everybody else. I want to encourage and uplift. I want to be intentional. So I figured this topic, which was shocking to hear for me at first, but the more that I talk about it, the more that I read into it, it's along the lines of what I do. So why not talk about it? I consider myself someone that has good communicational skills. Me personally, I try to meet people where they at. And I'm learning that if somebody shows me who they are and their true colors firsthand, and that's what I'm going to accept, and that's what I'm going to go by. Usually I'll go a little bit deeper and I'm like, well, no, the person's so sweet inside. I know there's a good person in there. And I would keep on going until I find something. And sometimes I never do. And I'm constantly just going and I'm abusing myself in the process because I know the person doesn't really want to be around me. They're just dealing with me for the time being. And I was okay with that, but I'm not okay with that anymore. So my conversations are intentional. If there's nothing to talk about, you won't be hearing me talking to you. I'm going to be as honest as possible, and then I'll just keep it moving. If I have to talk to you because it's a part of my job, then I'll keep it professional. I'll keep it short to the point, and then I'll keep it moving. So thank you all for joining the live. Much appreciated. As you come in, please like, share, and subscribe. Um, you can tap them hearts. It don't take but a few minutes to tap some hearts to show some appreciation, or to let me know that you agree of what I'm talking about. Or if you don't agree, just say thank you, but no thank you, but still tap it if you came through to say hi. I know I scroll through on the lives, and I used to be afraid of going on lives because I did not want to be called out. But then I said, well, why not? Why I don't want to be called out? So then I go on to people's lives and I ask questions. And then a lot of people be ignoring my questions. I'm like, why are they not responding to my question? So I've gotten mixed emotions on lives. So now I'm going in, I'm starting to be more comfortable on these lives. Hi, what's the topic? The topic today is about mental health. We're talking about social mental health, basically communication skills, how well we talk to one another and how we should approach one another. And what are some tips or some ideas or some things to look for when you are speaking to one another? And I went over a few habits, conversational habits a little while ago. I can run them down real quick again. It's being a good listener, have ask open-ended questions. Don't just ask questions that end with yes and no. Ask questions that's going to consider some thinking, some thought, and some, you can build a conversation off of that. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. The example that I gave was, what's something you've been excited about lately? You're asking someone to think about something good, something that might bring joy, something that might let them speak on something a little bit longer than just a high yes, no type of question. Um, usually when something's going good or something that you're excited about, you're going to talk more about it because you're excited about it. You have compassion about it. You're going to want to share that. So asking a question like that will bring out an open-ended conversation, and you'll be able to flow back and forth because then they can say something that they're excited about. Then you can say, oh, yeah. You can talk about something you're excited about, and then back and forth. And then before you know it, you'll have a whole conversation talking for 30 minutes and realizing where the time fly by. So that is the umbrella of, or the topic that's under the umbrella for today. But like I always say, God, less of me, more of you. We can flow in whatever direction God leads us to. I pray, God, that you allow me to reach out and connect to somebody, whether it's just one person or many. Okay. I was reading what AI put up there. Um, and then I talked about why it matters. And it matters because, you know, we all need to improve on our relationships because we are interacting with people daily. So we need to know how to speak to people. And reminded you all about those old fashioned rules. Go back to treat people how you want to be treated. If you don't know how anything else or remember anything I said, just treat people the way you want to be treated. You want to be talked to with respect, in a calm voice, and you want people to be patient with you, then you have to return that with other people. Um, Also, we're constantly building connections between people that we meet daily, intentionally or unintentionally. We are still meeting people daily. And I believe communication and conversation is free. I don't know why I always say both. They both mean the same thing, but when I speak it, I gotta say both. But it's free. It helps us. We can relate to hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. Um, but yeah, my coffee is not hot, but I'm getting hot. But I don't know what it is, y'all. Maybe I'm going through the changes again, but it's all good. But yeah, um, communication, conversation is important. Sometimes we think too much and you got a lot going on. You don't know what direction to go into. Um, I always advise you all to just take a moment to just sit down and connect with God, connect with yourself, connect with the God in you, get an inner understanding, or understanding. I keep saying inner understanding, get an understanding internally and get grounded with you and God and breathe. Breathing is so important. And then regroup. We have to regroup. Sometimes we have to regroup multiple times throughout the day. Thank you. Love you too. With the love of Christ, the love of God. But yeah, I didn't write too much down because I figured this would be something that we can just flow off of. I just, I like to come up with a topic so that we can have something to go through so you're not just staring at me, stare at y'all. So contribute to this topic if you find it to be interesting. If you think it's a waste of time, either way, share your thoughts. Curious to know, do you think social mental health is a thing? North Carolina, where are you from? Do you think social mental health is a thing? Do you think it's something that we can take the time to learn about, to use in our day to day interactions with people? Share your thoughts. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. And there's nothing wrong with being able to, getting some tips on cues of how to speak to people. If you go on the internet, you can find ways to talk to people in any type of situation. I look on the TikToks and Facebook and YouTube, and they talk about different things such as how to talk in an interview, how to talk with your coworkers, how to talk to individuals out there. I mean, you are from you are from Netherlands? No, not Netherlands. I said North Carolina. Where are you from? Are you from the Netherlands? Um, but yeah, just tips on how to speak to people. It seemed basic, but you got folks out there that don't got no type of people skills. No got that do not have. people skills. They do not know how to communicate to one another. You got bosses and supervisors out there, people in leaderships that don't know how to talk to people. You got people in leaderships that's doing things based off of what they want to do and not realizing that it doesn't take one person to rule leadership. And it can't, leadership can start with one person, but it's not one person's idea to rule and make things work in rulership, if that makes sense. Yes, you have somebody put in place to make the decisions, to call the shots, to have the final say, but that leader does not get there by themselves. That leader have to have a team, a group of people that come together, and that leader has to know how to talk to that individual. So, wow, I'm looking at some of the names up there. Thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. So you have to have these communicational skills so that you can move forward in this world today. You got people that was brought up in homes where they did nothing but curse and disrespect people. So they think that that's how you supposed to talk. You're supposed to talk to other people. No, that's not how you're supposed to talk to other people. That's just how they talk to you in your house. But when you get out there in the real world, you're going to have to change your vocabulary. You're going to have to change your tone. You're going to have to come across, one might say, fake, because it's not what you're used to. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's fake. It's just not what you are used to. It's just different. And I say that because that's how I used to say. I used to say, when I go to work, I talk to people one way, but when I'm at home, I talk to people another way. When I answer my phone, I look at caller ID. If it's someone I know, I'm going to say, hey, what's up? If it's not someone I know, I'm going to say, good evening, how may I help you? Or good morning, how may I help you? You know, something more professional because you're coming across differently. You have to learn how to talk to people. You have to adjust. I'm not saying be fake or phony. I'm simply saying you're going to have to adjust. Thank you. Much love to you too. You're going to have to adjust and rise to the occasion for whatever topic or person or situation that you're going to encounter. Um, you go to school, uh, not so much, but I know, I guess back in the days, I remember seeing I have a picture in my mind of how they taught etiquette, how to sit down at a table, how to properly use the utensils, how to properly sit down if you were female at the table in a car. We don't have all of that right now. My light is just a twitching. What is going on? um, Thank you for joining the live. Good morning to you all out there. But yeah. So you have to learn how to adjust, how to speak to people, how to come across respectful. Even if you don't like the person, if it's in the work field, you still have to stay professional. But if you're not at work and it's somebody you don't care for, you can be honest. Say, look, thank you, but no thank you. Peace, but peace. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for joining the live. Thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. Continue to please like, share, and subscribe. If by chance I say something that is helpful to you and it might benefit somebody else, please share my live with them so that they can come on and get some of these nuggets that I'm dishing out. And I give honor and glory to God if it helps you. And I pray that it does. If it doesn't help you, um, ignore it. But if it does, I give honor and glory to God regardless, because I move when God say move, just like that. But yeah, thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. For those of you that are just coming on this conversation, this topic is in regards to social mental health. We have all different types of mental health out there. Um, and to break down mental health in a little further, smaller words so that it's digestible is just another way of uh, labeling how you handle things, how you receive things, how you um, interpret it, and how you dish it back out. How much information you retain, how it affects you, and how you give it back out to other people. We we live in a world that's fast paced. We live in a world that has so much to weigh on your shoulders, and some of the basic things that we were brought up to do, or just, ways that made us who we were or who we are, had to be covered up, or laid dormant, so that we can focus on whatever it is. I would be limited to my ideas of listening. Okay. um I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, thank you. Appreciate you too. I appreciate you all who come on the live. I appreciate you all who contribute to the conversation. That's what makes this lives more interesting, more fun. You interact. If there's something that I'm saying that is wrong, you share. If something, my post was two parts. Sorry. Okay. I didn't get, all I got was the end part. I don't know what the first part was. Sorry if I missed it. But um um I forgot my train of thought. But oh yeah, I was saying thank you for all you guys that come on, and men and women that come on to the live. I believe it's better to speak, because if you're not here, who's going to hear you? If you're not here, what does it matter? I think it's better to speak. Thank you. Okay, congratulations to you. But yeah, if by chance I say something that is helpful, please share it, my post with someone else, and maybe they can benefit from it. But I also was talking about how, these lives are wonderful when you get interact, you can speak back and forth to people, because you know it's helping people when people talk back with the communication. And if you talk back, it can also go with the topic that we're talking about: social, mental, health. How well do we communicate with one another? How well do we get our points across? How well do we say what's on our minds to get what we need to get out? A lot of people don't are not honest, or they don't say what's on their mind, because they if you're someone that's real bold with your words, you might think it's coming across um rude or disrespectful. But thank you for joining us from Africa. Um, Thank you for being on the live. Much appreciated. Thank you. Love you too. With the love of God. I'm thinking, look at the video when he was doing this in the video. Sorry, responding to the song. But yes, I am glad that you all came out here. It is Saturday morning. So for those of you that don't work and you got up this early, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Um, you know, uh, I've had a week to where I had relaxed. Now that week flew by a little bit too fast. Now I have to get back into reality, get my mindset back for work. So, but I am off today, and I am going to take as much easiness and peace as possible. Um, so I'm thankful for Saturdays, and I'm thankful for the week that we've had. I couldn't opening up that my mind could be changed. Okay, and that's good, but don't let other people change your mind or whatever your thoughts are. And that's what I say too when I come on here, unless that's what you want them to do. But when I come on here, and if I say something, or if I counterpart what somebody else say, don't let me change your mind. Stick with what you say. Stand by what you say. I'm not here to change your mind by no means. I'm here to possibly give you a different perspective on how to see things, to kind of give you a better idea of your decision based off of the broadness that I give. Do you still want that decision to be what it is? That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you a open, open Yeah, they can open you up to a new way, but just do it if that's the decision that you choose to do. Don't let other people alter what you say, because you got people that's got the gift of gab, and they will come in, and some people are on purposely trained just to come in and change your mind. If you're not solid and stand by what you say. So just all I'm simply saying is be open minded. Yes, we have to be open minded in a lot of things because we're not, everything is not our way. We're in a world that's full of different people, ways, understanding, possibilities, whatever. But just make sure that whatever you decide to do, don't let no one talk you out of it unless you want them to, or unless you see their point as being valid. Just don't be so quick to give in to what they say. Stand firm on what you believe and on what you say. Um, that's all all of this makes you unapologetically, authentically yourself. If you don't get if you don't let other people change, I feel like I'm speaking in pauses, so I apologize. But don't let other people dictate who you are and get into your mind and change what you're thinking. We all have our own mindset. We all have our own thoughts. We all have our own beliefs. And if you live long enough, some of those beliefs might change. Um, but make sure the decisions and choices that you do or stick with or is yours. And understand that life is a lesson that we live every day. So we're not our past. If you are somebody who has struggled because you've done a lot of bad things in the past, it's in the past. You're now in the present. You're in the gift. If you made it out of the past into the gift, the present that God offers us, you're no longer held prisoner or responsible for the past. Even the criminals that's in the jail, their penalty is they got caught, they're arrested, they're in jail. Whatever they've done in the past to get them to that point, and they changed, and they really understand what they did, and they're not proud of what they did. They're no longer that person. If they're trying to make a change to do better for themselves, they're not the past. They're here in the present. They made it to the gift. They have the right, the ability to change, to be better people. We are not to judge them and hold them accountable for their shortcomings and their past. We're not our past. A lot of people might disagree to that, but if you think about it, the past is already gone. It's behind you on purpose. You're right now here in the present, the gift, present, present, gift from God. You're here now. Every day, everyone. Good day. Good day to you too. So if you made it to the right now, the present, the gift, that is a gift that God has given you life, health, and strength. You're going to do different from what you did before. You're going to do better. So do better. Because everything you do right now is what's going to affect your ladder, your future up ahead. We don't know what the future holds. You might have some intimate intervention, or you might have a sense of how you think a certain distance ahead will go, but you don't have the foresight to see all the way down there. Only God does. So if God saw fit for you to make it to the present, that is your gift to do better. That is your gift to let you know that the past is behind you. You have a new day, a new opportunity, a new gift to make it right. So we're not responsible for the past. We're not the past. I say this in almost every other one of my lives because I guess I'm feeling somebody out there. And a lot of people don't want to confront people or say things to people because they think that they're going to judge them on the past. Sometimes, well, actually, first of all, you can't control what nobody else thinks, period. But what you can control is what you think. You can go off and believe what you believe. You can learn to love you and forgive you and move forward for you because you have that ability. You have that right because you can. Who cares what somebody else thinks about you? Who cares if somebody can't receive from you because they only see you from the past? They can't see you for who you are now. That's their loss, not yours. You continue to be the best you that you can be. You continue to strive. You continue to do better because once you know better, you do better. If you didn't know better then, you can't do better. You do what you know and you survive the best way you can. But once you get to a position or a place to where you are in the present, the gift, receive it as the gift. Receive the present. Open up the present and live new because you are a gift in the present. I don't know how I got there, but I believe somebody need to hear that. A lot of us don't want to move forward. A lot of us have social mental um, issues because we're worried about what other people say. We're worried about how they feel about us. Who gives a flying whoopee cushion what somebody thinks about you? All that matters is what do you think about you? Spend that one-on-one time with God. God is within us. God lives in us. Whether you choose to accept it or not, God exists. Whether you choose to believe it or not, God exists. The creator, the mother, father, Alpha, the Omega. The same God yesterday, today, and forevermore exists, whether you choose to believe it or not. That spirit exists. That spirit, the image that we're made of, which is us spirits in this fleshly body, this house, exists. Whether you choose to believe it or not. Just because you don't believe it, don't mean it don't exist. Can you see the air all year round? No. You can see it if you're hot and you're going to someplace cold, then you can see the air. But any other time, you don't see the air. Are you not breathing because you don't see the air? You're still breathing. Air exists. So just because you don't see it, don't mean it's not there. So learn to meditate. Spend that one-on-one time with God. Talk to God all the time. Prayer is just simple communication between you and God. You can do that inwardly without opening your mouth to release the words because God is in you. God's going to hear you inwardly or outwardly. Just when you speak outwardly, just be careful of everything that's around you because you're out in the open. Whatever you release out that mouth and it turns into verbal stuff, then the enemy can take it and receive it. I don't know what you mean by that. Um, but um, but yeah, you're not your past. And if people can't receive you now because of what they knew of you in the past, it's not a your problem, it's a their problem. And I understand that people hurt people because hurt people hurt people. Thank you for the hearts. Hello, how you been? It's been a while, sir. Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. Still be you. Be unapologetically, originally you. Be who you are, the best that you can be. And understand that you are not your past. You are who you are. You are who God said you are. Get to the position or get to the place in loving yourself to where you know who you are, know whose you are, and know what you carry. And in order for you to know what you carry, you have to spend that one-on-one personal, intimate time with God and ask God to reveal all of you to you. It's you against you in this world, y'all. We have people out here that try to make it seem different, but it's you against you. You are someone that's going to never leave you. You and your higher you will connect, and then y'all will be moving on to the next level. As long as you take the time to do those self reflections and understand who you are. Nobody's going to know you better than you. They can assume and think they know you, and a lot of people think they know you because they knew you 20, 30 years ago. We are not the same person 20, 30 years ago. I am 49 right now. 20, 30 years ago. 30 years ago is before I had any children. I done had 4 kids, 5 pregnancies, 4 kids, and I have been living life and life has been life with me. And I have experienced so much change and went through so many different things and came close to death and did all these things on multiple occasions from 30 years ago. My mindset is not as pure as it was 30 years ago. So you can't hold me accountable or say that I'm the same person that I was 30 years ago. I'm not. Nobody is. You go through some things in life that is so serious and it wakes your behind up wide open to where you see life in a different way. You have to see life in a different way. You're now on a different journey, going in a different direction. So I'm saying this to say for all of you out there, I guess that's confirmation because my light is just twinkling over there. Please stay on. Um, so I'm saying all this to say that you guys out there that hold people accountable because of who they were, please stop. Some people might have, gotten worse than what they were back then. Um, and for those folks, I say pray for them. And when you pray, pray that they seek God for themselves. Don't pray anything that you want on them to make them worse or what pray that they seek God for themselves. The same way that you got to know God, pray the same for them. Sure. You follow me, I'll follow you. Now, if you're asking me to follow you so that you can text me all these questions on the DMs about personal stuff and getting with me, if I don't respond, don't get upset. But but yeah, for those that's just joining on, this conversation will always tend to go in a different direction because it's aimed to reach those who need to hear it. But we're talking about social mental health. We talked about mental health on different occasions. We talked about relationships. But social mental health is also important. I didn't know it was a title until I looked it up. But basically, it's communication skills, it's people skills, it's learning how to talk to one another. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. Mudbone 76. And thank you for all the hearts. Much appreciated. Um, um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we were talking about mental health and how it's important. It plays a role, and it's basically communication skills and how we communicate to one another. How well we get what is on our mind out to other people. How well do we come across with our verbal cues? How well we listen to one another, how well we ask open-ended questions, how well we fully present ourselves, be very in the moment when people are talking to you and when you're talking to other people. Don't be on your cell phone texting, yeah, 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 give undivided attention to the people that's in front of you. It makes a difference. Acknowledge them. Let them feel important for just that moment. You might be the only person that gives them any time of day that day. So be that positive influence on others. We need each other, y'all. I don't know if y'all realize that or not. Some people might say, I don't need her. I don't need him. We all need each other. You're going to get to a point in your life to where you're going to need help. And you want to be careful how you treat people. Um, you know, I try to be as bold as possible, as honest as possible. And sometimes I can get misread with being that way. People want you to lie to them. People want you to be phony to them because they don't want to hear the truth. If you are in my presence, you're going to get the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I promise you. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. Glad to see you out. All are up early this morning to hear what is coming out of my mouth. It is much appreciated. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. If I say something that is very influential or helpful, please share my live with other people. I had people share a lot of lives with me. So please return the favor. Share my lives on other people's lives. Um, I strive to get up every morning to encourage, uplift, and help anyone that I can within my limits. I don't make people do anything. I don't say do anything because I say do what you feel is in your heart. Bottom line, whatever decision, whatever choice, whatever it is that you do is with you. It has nothing to do with me. So do what you want to do based off of how you feel and what you believe. I come on to just uplift, encourage, possibly give you a different way of seeing a perspective so that you can make the best decision or choice or whatever you decide to make. I'm here to help. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Y'all funny. Y'all calling me names. My name is Nidra. I'm not a MILF. I'm not a cougar. Kruger, whatever y'all call it. I've raised my children. I ain't raising no more unless my kids have kids. But I'm not going to date someone to raise them or to feed them in that fashion. It's not an insult. According to who? You? It's all in the perspective, perception. Your perception is different than mine. Yes, in the whole world. Not everybody feels the same way you feel. There's some people that feel the same way I feel. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. Okay, no problem. And I'm not trying to change your mind if that's how you feel, but I'm just letting you know that everybody don't think that way. That's all. Apology accepted. No need for apology. I wasn't trying to offend you. I was just trying to let you know another perspective, a way of how people might see things. Don't change your mind. Believe what you want to believe. I'm not here to try to change your mind. I'm trying to give you a different perspective on things. Because a lot of us think things are one way and it's not. Especially if you were brought up in a household that kept you limited. Fine. Have another day. Enjoy your day. To each his own. And thank you for joining my live. Much appreciated. And thank you for your contribution to the conversation. Much appreciated as well. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for the hearts. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. It's much appreciated. I thank you all for all that you do to make this live interesting. Anytime. Bye. No problem. Um, but yeah, I don't come across to try to be disrespectful. I don't. People misunderstand me all the time, and it's to the point now where I'm okay with it. Really, I am. I am who I am. You are who you are. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us unapologetically, uniquely who we are. Period. But time flies when you're having fun. We've been on for 52 minutes already. I hope what I said was helpful. I hope I said something that was helpful, something that was encouraging to you all out there. Something that will help you process something throughout the day a little bit easier. Um, if by chance you have topics on what you want me to talk about, we can talk about it, providing that it is something that is um, respectable. But yeah, I'm open for suggestions. Someone said to talk about health and wealth, and that's what we talked about earlier this week. Someone said to talk to stop talking about relationships. I can't stop talking about relationships because relationships are something we build daily. Whether it's a platonic relationship, whether it's a relationship with individuals leading towards marriage, whether it's just a relationship in the workplace, whether it's just a relationship in life, you can't escape it. So relationships will be a topic all the time because I am building relationships out there with you all, and you all are building relationships with me. Um, and based off of that, we we're gonna always talk about relationships. It's just a part of life. We'll just talk about different levels of it, different aspects of it, different directions of it, but all relationships in the same. Um, as always, I come on and talk about why I do what I do. I come on to uplift, to encourage, to help people see things from a different perspective in the hopes of helping them see things clearer. For example, if you are on soft ground and you're constantly sinking and you need some help to just get on solid ground, a solid foundation, consider me that person that grabs your hands and pull you off of that soft, uncertain foundation and onto solid foundation and to turn you in the direction to where you need to go. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Never am I on here to say I'm going to tell you what to do. No, I can't tell you what to do. You live your own life. You do what you have to do. Consider me as that light that you need in a dark tunnel as you're proceeding to go through that tunnel. Allow me to help you see some ways of getting through the tunnel. Happy weekend to you too, so that you can get to the other side. Consider me someone that is here to help you, to guide you, to bring you to some place that you need to go, some place that you want to go. I'm not here to try to make your life miserable. I'm not here to try to discourage you. I'm not here to try to do any of that. I am here to uplift, encourage, and help move you in the direction that you want to go in with the help of Mother, Father, God, universe. I give all honor and glory to God. I am a vessel being used by God. Good day to you too. Thank you. So that's what I strive to do daily. I hope that's what I do with you all out there. Um, looking rather good today. Yes, somebody already asked me if I eat fried chicken, watermelon, and Kool-Aid. So that was not my intention to look hood. I just like the way the hat fits. It covers all of the roots. Don't have to worry about no baby edges. It's just there to just kind of put it on, and it's kind of classy and to me in a hood, I guess, hood-like way. But thank you. Um, I am a product of the hood. I'm born and raised in the projects. I don't live there now. I agree with that. Yeah, up you get up 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes you don't want to take that time to put them edges down in there. Or see the fuzziness of the hair coming up from the sides. This just kind of puts it right on down. The parts that you don't need to see, you don't see. The parts that you need to see is flowing. It's going in different directions right now, but it's still there nevertheless. It's still there. So, so yeah, I do I'm trying to work smarter, not harder. And I'm trying to get out. I was trying to get here on by 5 o'clock this morning instead of after. I was down here on time at 5, but I was still looking up more details about the topic so I could have something to roll on. And that's what I was doing this morning. But yeah. Um, but for those of you that just came in, we were talking about social mental health. Um, Basically, it's just learning how to enhance your communication skills, learning how to, uh, get over the fear of speaking to people. I think I just added that on. But it's also, developing good conversation habits, which included listening, attentively, asking open-ended questions so that the conversation is not just yes, no, and then that's it. It's open to multiple questions that can lead to continue on conversation. Be fully present when you're speaking to someone. I mean, I make eye contact. I know a lot of people told their kids don't look at me in my eyes. No, I'm gonna make eye contact. I'm gonna look you in your eyeballs, and I'm gonna see what is it you got to say, huh? 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 I'm gonna make eye contact. Um, be fully present and acknowledge. Like if someone's talking to you and don't just stare. If it requires you to acknowledge that you're still there, like if you're on your phone, you gotta tap it or it's gonna go black. Someone's talking, but oh, okay, all right, interact, acknowledge that you're still listening to their conversation. Thank you. Um, So that's what we were talking about. Make talks easier. Share. Yeah, so you know, that's what this whole conversation was about. It's social mental health. It exists. It may have many different names, but it can also be considered a cup of conversation, food for thought. Um, Conversation, learning how to speak to one another and being confident in what you're saying. You know, a lot of people can be intimidated. Thank you. A lot of people can be intimidated by either the tone of somebody else or the way that other people may speak. Like, I think I'm cool when I talk. I know my voice might be a little bit deeper than the average, but when I get excited, my voice might raise a little bit. But I'm not rude. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just excited. I'm showing compassion about the conversation that we talk about. But I can also be misunderstood. And if that's the case, and I'm not cursing and yelling at you, I'm not mad at you. Now, if I'm talking to you and I get loud and there's some few choice words that you might not want to hear, that is not okay for regular conversation, then okay, you realize at that point I'm mad. But if I talk to you and I'm smiling, or if I'm talking to you and my words are clean, I'm not mad. I'm just talking to you with compassion. So mental health is also understanding the cues and learning the tones and the textures and the directions of your communication so that you're not triggered by somebody's compassion and they're just talking to you. Like if someone have accents, they might think that they're yelling at them because the way they speak, their accent is uplifted in certain areas of the rhythm of words. So you have to kind of just be aware, patient, listen, and look for the cues. If you look into somebody's eyes, you can get an idea whether or not they angry or bothered. If you're talking to somebody, they're just looking up in the air and doing, obviously they don't want to hear what you have to say. So stop. Don't make nobody listen to you if they don't want to. If you're in a position to where you have to speak and they have to listen because you're a teacher, whatever the case might be, ignore those cues, do your job, and say good day when it's done. Um, remind people that if you are in a teaching position and you're giving tests or quizzes, that look, if you don't pay attention or take some consideration and listen to what's being said when it's time for you to take that test, it's not a my problem, it's a your problem. I'm taking the time now to explain things to you. Take your notes, appreciate it, uncross your hands, because those are another gestures that you need to look at. Thank you for joining the live. If somebody is talking to you and they got their hands crossed and different stuff like that, those are cues you need to pay attention to. Once somebody crosses your hands, that's it. Conversation done. They ain't want to hear nothing else you got to say. They're gonna tune you out, or they're trying to tune you out. So pay attention to all of that. We have reached the 1 hour mark, y'all. So I am going to end this cup of conversation and food for thought for now, but we will assume tomorrow or maybe later on today. All depends. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining the live. Those of you that follow, y'all know what time I be on. I looked this morning, there was people on at 3 o'clock this morning, 4 o'clock this morning, getting them conversations on about relationships and life choices and men and women topics. And I try to come on and do something different. I see what they talk about. I try to come on and be different. I'm not in competition with nobody. My intention is to come on and help. I get up early in the morning with the intentions of helping. And if I help just one person throughout the day, I've done what I needed to do, even if that person is me. So, to you all out there, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Now you love you. Repent to God and ask for forgiveness and forgive you. And remember, you are not your past. If you made it to this present, this gift, you've got a new start to make it, to do better. When you know better, you do better, to move on into the future. So until next time, have a wonderful Saturday. Peace.